We're here in the Electro Harmonix soundproof booth, which is luxury because this is the noisiest NAMM show I think I've ever been to. And John's going to show us the new looper pedal, which is the biggest and most impressive looper pedal I've ever seen. So what's special about this one?
What's special about this looper, it's a 6-track looper with faders. And it has a stereo mixdown track. You can record to each one of the tracks. You can also sum and do a stereo. You can record stereo or record 2 instruments at once. It's got its features are undo and redo. You've got a punch feature if you make a little mistake and you want to just fix that one little part. It's got an octave down, so you can record and sound like Les Paul. It's got a reverse feature. You can do Jimi Hendrix stuff. You can do all your swells and cool stuff like that. It's fully MIDI compatible, so it could be the master or slave. It can accept commands or, I guess, give commands. It ships with a 16 gig micro SD card, and that has about 375 minutes of loop time. Brain's working, it's starting to work. It can go up to 32 gigs, so you can get about 12 hours of loop time on this.
Okay, now as far as I can see, the main difference between this and other loopers is that this records the different loops as effectively separate audio files, so you can do things with them separately. It's not something that just overlays sound on itself.
Exactly. You can do that easily by just recording one, and it's just like like our 360 looper or something like that, and just layer and layer and layer. But if you don't have to, so you could layer on each one of these tracks, or you can just have 6 tracks of their own audio, and which is fun because then you can do like little performances of mixes, and you can actually do a mixed down performance, a mixed performance, and bounce it down to the mixed down track, and it will record your panning and your levels.
Yeah, so it's a kind of looper meets basic multi-track recorder.
Yeah, and it looks intimidating because there's so many knobs, but it's kind of nice because there's not a lot of hidden screens, so you don't have to go in and do some weird stuff and press buttons and all that stuff. Everything's kind of on the surface. In fact, this is all just duplication, so really we're looking at that much, and these are just the same thing.
Yeah, it's like a mini mixer. You have level and pan for each of the tracks, so you can do this kind of mix of what you've just recorded.
Yeah, and visually it's also really nice. You can just see where your levels are, and you can actually just kind of move them very quickly and a lot at a time. You can do that kind of stuff, which is good for a performance tool.
Okay, well, let's ask Irina if she can show us how it all works.
Irina, can you show us how it all works?
Well, that's a pretty impressive little demo, John, but what can you do in the way of live mixing? Can you demonstrate something?
Yeah, I can.
Let's do the show
All
right
right,
here.
let's do it.
Well, again, John, that looks very flexible. So what's this wonderful little box going to cost us, and when can we buy one?
You can buy one now. They're shipping now, and they're $5.50.
That's US dollars.
Yes.
So by the time we get home, it'll be about the same in pounds, I should think.
Yeah.
Thanks very much indeed.